if I told you that millions of people have the wrong idea about Romania, not because they are stupid, not because they are bad people, but because they have been told the same story for years, a story that is no longer true. I've been living in Romania for years now, and one thing still surprised me. When I tell people where I live, I almost always get the same reaction. Romania? Really? And then the questions begin. Why Romania? Isn't dangerous? Isn't poor? Why would anyone move there? I always smile because I know exactly why they are asking. Today, I want to tell you about the biggest lie people believe about Romania. And no, it's probably not the one you are thinking about. Welcome back to From Mora with Love. Let's go for a walk. Here is something funny. Almost everybody has an opinion about Romania, but when you ask one simple question, have you ever been there? The answer is often no. And that's not an attack. We all do this. We build opinions from television, from old news, from YouTube, from something a friend once told us. Our brains love simple stories. They are easy to remember. The problem is, simple stories are often incomplete. Romania is one of those countries. For many people, the image stopped somewhere around the 1990s. As if nothing changed after that. But countries aren't photographs. They are more like living people. They grow, they improve, they make mistakes, they surprise you. And Romania has surprised me many times. Nu judeca o carte după copertă. Before moving here, I also had expectations, not terrible expectations, but definitely old ones. When I arrived and something strange happened. Nothing. Seriously. Nobody was chasing me. Nobody was trying to rob me. Nobody cared that I was a foreigner. People were simply living their lives, going to work, shopping, having coffee, walking their dogs, taking children to school. The more days passed, the more I realized something. Romania wasn't trying to impress me. It was simply being itself. And somehow that was refreshing. Sometimes we travel looking for something spectacular, but real life isn't spectacular. Real life is ordinary. And I think that's exactly what many people never get to see. They only see extreme stories, the very good ones or the very bad ones. Almost nobody talks about normal life, but that's where the truth usually lives. Încet, se face departe. I am in the middle of nowhere. Something is buzzing up in a tree. I have no idea what it is. Let me ask you something. When was the last time a completely normal day became international news? Never. Because normal doesn't get clicks. If someone has a terrible experience, it spreads everywhere. If someone has an amazing experience, it also spreads everywhere. But millions of completely normal days, nobody talks about them. And that's true for Romania too. The internet doesn't reward balance, it rewards emotion. That's why one shocking video can create an opinion that lasts for years, even if it doesn't represent everyday life. I think that's one of the biggest problems with social media today. I remember a video from Romania of a drunk guy stumbling around and talking completely nonsense. It looked like it was filmed in 360p with a calculator, yet it got over 2 million views. People loved it. Why do you think that is? I think that's one of the biggest problems with social media today. Not only about Romania, about every country. We are slowly replacing experience with algorithms, and algorithms don't care about truth, they care about Attention! Viața bate filmul. So, if that's not the biggest lie about Romania, then what is? I will tell you, but first there is something important you need to understand. When I first came to Romania, I thought I would notice something foreign every day, something strange, something unusual, but the truth is that didn't happen. Instead, I started noticing how normal everything felt. Because in my head, Romania was supposed to be very different, but daily life felt like daily life. People were busy, coffee shops were full, supermarkets were crowded, kids were going to school, people were complaining about traffic just like everywhere else. And after a while, I realized something important. If you remove the labels, Romania, Poland, Germany, France, life looks very similar. People want the same things: a stable job, a safe home, good food, time with family. That's it. Mul sfintește locul. There wasn't one big moment. It was more like many small moments. I remember going for a walk and thinking, okay, this is just a normal European city. Then another day, this looks exactly like any modern place I've been to. And slowly something changed in my head. The stereotypes stopped matching reality, not because Romania is perfect, but because reality is always more complex than stereotypes. And that's the problem. Stereotypes are simple. Real life is not. For example, some people think Romania is stuck in the past, but when you use fast internet everywhere, you pay with your phone in most places, you see modern shopping malls, you see new buildings everywhere. At the same time, yes, there are problems. Yes, not everything works perfectly, but again, that's every country. The difference is what people choose to focus on. Bordeie atâta obicei. Why does this old image still exist? I think there are three reasons. First, people don't update their opinions. Second, negative stories travel faster than normal ones. And third, most people never check for themselves. That combination is powerful. It creates a picture that feels real, even when it's outdated. And once that picture is in your head, it's hard to replace it. Because changing your opinion requires effort. And most people don't do that unless they have to. But here is the interesting part. When someone finally visits Romania, they usually say the same thing. I didn't expect this. And that sentence says everything. Vorba dulce mult aduce. And that brings me to something important, because I think we are now close to the real answer. What is the biggest lie about Romania? Let's finish that in the last part. So, what is the biggest lie about Romania? After everything I've seen, after living here, after talking to people, after everyday life, I don't think the lie is a specific sentence. It's not Romania is dangerous. It's not Romania is poor. It's not even any single stereotype. The biggest lie is something simpler. The biggest lie is that Romania is still what people think it used to be. That it hasn't changed. That it's frozen in time. And that idea is completely wrong. Romania today is not the Romania of the past, just like no country is the same as it was 10, 20 or 30 years ago, but many people still look at it that way, and that creates a false picture, because when you expect one thing and reality is different, you don't always update your thinking. You just say, I guess it's still like I thought, even when it isn't. Nu tot ce zboară se mănâncă. I'm not here to convince you that Romania is the best country in the world. It's not. And I'm not here to convince you it's perfect. It isn't. What I'm trying to say is something much simpler. You can't understand a country through old opinions. You can't understand it through random clips online. And you definitely can't understand it through stereotypes. You only understand it when you experience it, when you walk the streets, when you talk to people, when you live a normal day here. And then you realize something important. Most countries are not as extreme as people think. They are just place where life happens. Good days, bad days, normal days. And Romania is exactly that. A place where life happens. Cu răbdarea treci și marea. And I think this is where I will leave you today. If there is one thing I hope you take from this video, it's this. Maybe the world is not as simple as we think. Maybe countries are not labels. Maybe reality is always more interesting than stories. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this vlog, please subscribe to the channel. Give it a like if you liked it and share with someone so it can travel further into the depths of YouTube. Let's see how far it can go. This is From Mora with love. Thank you for walking with me today and I will see you in the next one. La revedere și pe curând!